It is such a pleasure to be with all the other women who are as passionate about technology as I am. My name is Poonam or Sigroha, and I'm a dev manager in mixed reality Microsoft. Look around the world. What do you see? When you look around, you would find people that you love, people that you care for, people you want to be with, places you want to probably go visit, explore, learn more about, and things that we love doing with people we care for, playing with kids, family activities, sharing a meal with family and friends, or maybe just celebrating a birthday with family and friends. This is as we knew life is. But then COVID happened, and all of this came to a pause. Celebrating birthdays, celebrating holidays is not usual anymore. Just like all of you, I'm experiencing it as well. I grew up in India, northern India, and it's actually holiday season for us as well. I would love to share the holidays and celebrate it with family, with love and joy, but I cannot. And I'm sure it's not just my own story. Thanksgiving is around the corner, probably a couple of weeks away. Then comes the Christmas and the New Year. And no matter if your family is just a few miles away, another block, or oceans apart, the traditional way of celebrating the holidays isn't going to work anymore. Holiday dinners aren't going to happen the way it used to be. There may not be a ball drop in New York or anywhere else for that matter this new year. So what would you do? What could you do? What are your options? The first thing that comes to mind, you might consider a Teams or a Zoom call, maybe Google Hangout or FaceTime. Doesn't matter what your technology choice is, but chances are you would consider doing a video call with the family and try to feel that human connection, that feeling of joy, that feeling of sharing the holidays together. It is a two-dimensional view though. But what if? What if we could take it a little bit further? What if you could celebrate a birthday or share a Thanksgiving meal sitting across from your family on a table that you know, in a familiar dining room that you know, in a mixed reality world? Here we're seeing Anna. Anna is this little girl who is actually joined by her father on her iPad or Windows device or any device. You could use any 2D device to be able to entering the experience. Anna joins her family in Australia via mixed reality devices. Now, immersion is real. Audio and sound is spatial, and the gathering is special. Technology fades gracefully in the background somewhere, having created another unforgettable moment among the loved ones. You might be wondering, is this the page from a comic book? Like, how is this any different than somebody just seeing a picture or a video? Well, let's see how real this would be. Wait, what? Like, are we seeing two views of the same person? Are they twins? Or is that magic? But let me tell you, the left side of the screen is actually a hologram of the person on the right side. Now, if this person happens to be your family member, I know they're not, but for a split second, come with me on the journey. If the person on the left happens to be a family member of you, and it's a hologram, would you feel the difference? Would you feel the connection? Would you feel the presence and availability and the feeling of joy if you were having that Thanksgiving dinner or that birthday celebration with them? It will be very immersive, very satisfying. It'll be like magic. You would not feel the difference anymore. But how is it done? It is really a very simple concept. You take people, you capture them using devices, then you take places and things, create a scene, you combine both of them, and magic happens. You enter mixed reality. For capturing people, first thing we need is you. Of course, it's a hologram of you, so we're gonna need you. We need a camera. We'll take many pictures of you from all the different angles to create a real hologram or an avatar of you. And then we'll use the computer algorithms to create a process picture capture for you. Do you think if we combine all these pictures that you're seeing on screen of the person and many more from all the different angles, from all the different depths, and try to create a volumetric version of this person, they'll feel real? It will be their avatar, it'll be their hologram that can then be transported through computer networks into your space or a different space we may have created. Now you might wonder that these pictures are taken, but then how do you combine the scene with the human hologram? What we really do is when we are taking the pictures of you, we try to take the pictures using a green screen, which makes it really easy to take the green part out and add the scene into it. So basically what you're seeing on the screen is the hologram of a person that we're trying to capture with a green screen in the back. Now play it forward. What would we do to capture the places? First, we take a picture of the scene. We have to make shapes out of it. The scenes are far more geometric and have depth and colors. So we have to capture all of it. So we'll make shapes out of it. We will layer on the colors on top of those shapes. We do the processing, and then we put them in a viewer where you can actually see the scene up there. How does it look like though? What you're seeing on screen is a 2D picture. You might wonder, well, I can take a hologram which looks like a picture and then put that hologram in this picture. Wouldn't that look like mixed reality? It couldn't be any far from the truth. Here is why. To be able to really have mixed reality experience, you need to have a sense of depth. You need to have the sense of the 3D space. You need to feel you are in it. You're not looking at it. And to be that immersive experience, to be in it, it has to have a 3D view, which is way different. Let's see how that gets created. First, you have to have a camera that has a depth sensor on it. We capture a lot of sensor data and try to infer the shape and geometry of what you just captured. The thing that you're seeing on screen, it's not a 2D picture. It's actually a basic shape that we have created with the sense of depth from that sensor we captured. Next, we layer on the real colors from the world into the scene. So what you're seeing is a shape that has already been colored. Of course, you can add lighting and a lot of different effects and things to make it more and more real. And here is your final scene that is getting rendered really, really, really beautifully. The chessboard section we saw in the first picture is just a small piece of this whole scene. You could not have walked into the scene that you saw. It might be hard to imagine because we're seeing all of this in 2D, but the scene that you're seeing that has been recreated with the sense of depth, you can actually walk into it and have the feeling of immersion as if the scene was real. Now let's combine it all together. The left side of the screen, you saw a hologram being captured on a green screen. We created a scene of a medical room using the pieces of technology we just saw. And then we combine it all together to create the scene where a patient is sitting in a medical room. Now you might wonder, it has been created, it's on a computer. How do you experience it? All you need to do is put some headsets on you, and then you will be able to walk in and experience this whole scene as if you were really looking at a patient in a medical scene. And that's really what is happening here. And this all can be done today. This is not science fiction. This is not future technology. A lot of this can be done today, and we're not the only company doing this. Just to get the idea across that this is truly not a real world, a patient sitting, and we have not captured an image, you can see, you can mix it all up. You can actually have a medical patient being captured and put it into a different scene. Well, who would want to do that really though? But given the fact that we're talking with a room full of many talented women or male allies, you might wonder, I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm an enterprise customer help desk, or I'm an interior designer, I love technology, or I'm in medical field. How does this all help me? What are the real life things I can do with it? How would this change the experience and human interactions that we are having today? Let's take a look. What you're looking on the screen is there are two small business owners who want to optimize their space for their consumers. However, they don't have a lot of money to spend, so they want to actually create it, experience it, adjust the flow, and feel the real experience before they want to go further and put a lot of money into it. But because of COVID, their designer, who happens to be in a different town, cannot travel, and their project cost will cause a lot of issues. But what if we were able to get their designer into this room, experience with them, look at what needs to change, how it needs to be designed, what the layout needs to be, and they are able to actually do this all together in a mixed reality world. What if you are actually on a manufacturing line, or you're a technician and there's an issue, you need some expert help? Your first choice probably would be to call somebody and give them figure out how to fix some of this. If you are really lucky, you might have a screen by screen instruction or a guide to figure out how to solve for all of this. But in a mixed reality world, it could be very different. What if the person that you're looking at the front of the screen is actually really a hologram that we were able to teleport into your space? And they were looking at the machine real time. And they were able to give you guidance, instructions, step by step, but also be present for things that were not predicted or planned for. The whole experience becomes much more different. There are no delays, as well as the level of expertise and support you get is much more different. So mixed reality helps you do it right first time. No wait for experts, because there is no sense of time and or space that limit your ability to be able to interact with them. It trains your team well, because you could be in different spaces, but training your teams in a very different way. And enables the best customer care service. Rather than taking a phone call at the customer help care desk, you are instead sending people as holograms to help the community. 2 years ago, when I was looking at this cartoon, I really chuckled that this seems like too far-fetched idea. I probably also would have laughed if somebody told me that my 8-year-old daughter would be actually going to a remote learning school for close to a year, and her learning would be more or less close to what it needs to be. But 2020 really made it a reality for all of us. We are all looking for new ways to connect, to learn, to explore, and make it easier to have a learning experience. What you're really looking at is these 4 students who are actually looking at their 2D screens are enrolled in a chemistry class. And they all want to know what these molecules look like. Their teacher happens to be an at-risk person who cannot be in a classroom physically present with them to help them understand and learn and explore. She, however, puts in a headset, creates these models in 3D, and then gets teleported to the space with the students. They all are sharing a virtual space, a mixed space, and the students are experiencing the model through a regular computer. So you do not have to just have a headset. There are different ways to experience mixed reality, and it brings the whole class and experience to a different level. This is another scenario. Here are 4 researchers who are sitting in 4 different locations trying to work on an environmental model. They can co-create models, they can annotate, change, adapt, and communicate as if 4 of us were sitting in the same space. This is really changing the effectiveness and future of the classrooms. And above all, this technology can make a difference of life and death. when you need access to a specialist or a surgeon, where time is the key. If somebody had a skull injury and they needed a specialist, which might be very far and few, getting them on a plane and getting them to the patient probably will lead to a disaster situation. However, if the immediate attention is needed and technology can be leveraged, the specialist who is out of town could be teleported in the space with other surgeons, could be looking at the patient as if they were there, could give real-time instructions on the surgery, and hopefully can save the life of that patient. Now let's take it even further. You could be sitting in a different country, but have desire, intent to go help in developing nations to eradicate different diseases. Or you want to just do broader things for humanity, but you don't have either the time or access to travel, whatever the reason may be. You could be doing a lot of that by using a lot of these technologies. Again, this all exists today, is real, and many companies, including Microsoft, enable a lot of these scenarios. Whether it's sharing a meal, celebrating a birthday, celebrating holidays together, improving the customer care, or saving lives around the world, mixed reality is the answer to these and many more scenarios. If this excites you, there's a whole world of mixed reality that you can get involved in. This room is full of very strong-willed, smart entrepreneurs and technologists. You could be building this with us, and we welcome you as we are hiring as well. Thank you so much.